Hey YouTube, so this week on Witch Please, I wanted to speak about the magical uses of spices and herbs from the witch's kitchen. Now, I have wanted to talk about this for a while, but the last time I recorded this series of videos, my laptop had a meltdown, which took all the recorded videos along with it. So I am having to record them all from scratch. So I really hope you like this series. And if anyone should happen to come across another spice rack like this with these amazing vintage spice jars, let me know. I want more. I'm actually hoping to find 3 more of these because it's kind of anything like that, and I was hoping to um, connect them all together so they form a circle. I would remove this top bit and put it on a lazy Susan with a utensil crock in the middle. So that is why I'm looking for 3 more of these unusual little spice rack contraptions. But anyway, on to my vlog. Now, this series of videos it will be in no particular order, just depending on what herb I happen to grab. The first herb I want to talk about is one of my favorites, and it is dill. Um, Dill is great in tuna salad sandwiches. However, if you're buying dill from a grocery store, I would recommend that you buy dill weed, which is what the leaves are called, from a supplier that also includes the dill blossoms in it as well, because the blossoms actually contain more of the dill flavor than do the leaves. Um, the common name for dill comes from the Old Norse term dilla, which means to lull, and that probably um, it probably derives from the belief that dill is a carminative herb and it can relieve flatulence. So when you think you have gas, eat a little dill, drink a little dill tea, eat it in your sandwiches. But it might also have to do with another old belief that dill was once thought to cause people to fall asleep, to enter into a slumber. Now, a really great way of recognizing mercurial herbs in general is if just by noticing their botanical features. Mercurial herbs often have umbels of flower blossoms, usually tiny flower blossoms, many flower blossoms. Now, an umbel is, botanically speaking, it's sort of like a flat top. I'll definitely post some pictures so you know what an umbel looks like. But the leaves of the plant are usually very fine, sort of like yarrow leaves or dill leaves. They're very fine, and there are many of them. Another another common name from Greece for dill is Hermes semen, and if you have ever tried to pull the seeds off of a ripe dill plant, once it has been thoroughly dried, you know exactly why it's called that name, because I had Hermes semen everywhere, in my hair, in my beard. Oh my god, I had such a facial. It was a mess to clean up. Let me tell you. Now, something else to bear in mind with mercurial herbs is that those that ease flatulence are almost always associated with the process of exorcism, banishing demons and things of that nature, because it was once believed that demons caused caused flatulence, that it was the byproduct of being possessed, that oh, how to put this, in the Malleus Maleficarum, for instance, it was believed that demons caused false pregnancy, that when it was really there was a great expulsion of wind from the body. So mercurial herbs are quite powerful when dealing with enchantments, with dealing with possession, because Mercury was also a patron of magicians and witches. The Roman gladiators were also renowned for rubbing dill over the bodies prior to engaging in mortal combat, which would make dill an appropriate herb for the Sabbath of Lunas, especially those that are engaging in the warrior path, and that isn't a physical combat per se. It's more about honing the tools of the spiritual warrior in that sense. Um, in British folklore, um, magicians often used dill as a counter-magic herb. It was believed to hinder witches of their will, and there are many similar charms that use dill along with other herbs that did a very similar feat, such as St. John's wort. Some sources state that it will protect one's home from the ingress of witches and danger if hung over liminal spaces such as the exterior doors and windows, um, as well as breaking up negative magic if mixed with salt and scattered about the house. The Polish believed that it could vanquish nightmares, and during the English medieval period, dill was burned in the sick room to encourage healing, which is also a very mercurial trait. Healing is. Um, Wearing a bag containing dill seed over the heart was said to combat the evil eye. It was also thought to be dill was also thought to be a rather mild um, love herb. It was recommended for shy people in an effort to extend a mildly enticing aura around the individual, which would allow them to more more confidently and comfortably cruise for a partner without getting caught up in the drama commonly associated with romance, sex and dating. So it's really an extremely versatile herb. It is well, I actually forgot to mention that it is a herb of Mercury, the sign of Gemini, which would go hand in hand with the process of dating, because Gemini is about sort of growing up, and it is definitely a herb of the element of air. So if you haven't really given herb a try magically, I recommend it. At least once. Use it in your magical meals, as an incense, in potions. Whatever. Be creative. Part of being a witch is crafting things. I am so sick and tired of seeing witches that don't do. They're sort of armchair witches, and I want to gently guide them and say, come on, get out there, use your knowledge, put it to use, make your magic, leave your mark onto this community. So until next time, my witches and YouTubers, keep calm and witch on. Oh, and this will be probably a series of 17 videos, maybe, give or take. All of the information I'm giving you is directly from the book I'm writing on the subject of magical herbalism, which is called, for all intents and purposes, Hecate's Garden. So if you want to know more about my writing, just get in touch. I'm really easy to get in touch with. I promise I don't bite, unless you want me to. So I will see you later. In retrospect, I think it's saying, because he does live in Texas and I'm in Iowa, that he may be away from his devices, and he's waiting